Ah, yes. Welcome, everyone, to the Marijuana Time Show for December 18th, 2017. If you're a regular listener of this show, you may notice that I sound a little different today. I may sound this way for at least most of the week. I am battling a head and chest cold, but marijuana news and the latest in the marijuana community and industry will wait for no one. Rain, sleet, sun, snow, all of those things that the post office people talk about. That's what I'm doing as well. It's just like the post office here, except for the long lines. If you want to find myself and many other great writers, and you don't have to listen to this voice, you can just read what I wrote if this is annoying to you, which is annoying to me, so it may be annoying to some of you. But I will not rest till the marijuana news has gotten to. Go to marijuanatimes.org. Find myself and many other great writers covering the cannabis community and beyond, industry, legislation, all that stuff. Marijuanatimes.org. You can find these shows there as well. These videos are shareable, the YouTube versions. Like and comment, of course, on YouTube and Facebook. But you can share with your social media peeps, as the kids say. We got a lot of stories coming up today, including the latest from Tilray and their expansion into Europe. Also, a weed fortress out in California, and Bitcoin and how it affects the cannabis industry. But first, of course, must tell you, the Marijuana Time Show is brought to you by NatureSideCannabis.com. Organic, all-natural pesticides. If you're a legal cannabis cultivator, you don't want to be using harmful pesticides, harmful chemicals. You don't want your customers to be ingesting that. You don't want to run afoul of various regulations in states like California and Colorado and Oregon and Washington. All of that. You don't want to do any of that. You want to get in trouble. NatureSideCannabis.com. They can help you be regulatory compliant with their all-natural, safe-to-use pesticides. Because you're going to have pests, so you need NatureSideCannabis.com, a proud sponsor of the Marijuana Times Show. First up, this story is from marijuanatimes.org. Bill Griffin writing about Tilray. Tilray is a global pioneer in medical cannabis research, production, and distribution. They're going to become the first North American company to import dried medical cannabis products into the Czech Republic for nationwide distribution. Chief Executive Officer of Tilray, Brendan Kennedy, said, as we work to increase medical cannabis access in the European Union and around the world, Tilray is proud to be the first supplier offering dried medical cannabis products to Czech patients in need. Medical cannabis was legalized by the Czech Republic back in 2013. And since then, there has been no legal way for patients to obtain their medicine other than to grow their own. In October, Tilray became the first full-spectrum supplier of full-spectrum medical cannabis extracts in Germany. Tilray's oral product formulations are currently available in Croatia and Cyprus, and a wide variety of its products are also available in North America, South America, Australia, and New Zealand. It's really an amazing thing to think about an American company selling cannabis products in all these various countries on different continents in the year 2017. I started writing about cannabis legalization as a job in 2009. And I've done it ever since, over 3,000 articles and more. Magazines, websites, all that. If you had told me in 2009 that just anything that's happening today in 2017, back then, first of all, we were a small group, cannabis journalists. Compared to today, we were a very small group. But most of us were of the opinion that, it would be great if we would see cannabis legalization in our lifetime. And then when Prop 19 went down to defeat in 2010 in California, that kind of reinforced that thought that, we got a long way to go. California couldn't even legalize. And so in our lifetime, it'd be great. Somebody like me, who was around 30 at the time, it'd be great if we could see it, in 20 or 30 years. Here we are 8 years later. We have 8 states with recreational marijuana legalization, almost 30 with some sort of medical marijuana program that's better than, CBD only. And it's really an incredible thing. Vermont, probably in a couple weeks, may become the 9th recreational legalization state. Just amazing stuff. And now Tilray, they're They're in South America, they're over in Australia, North America, now they're in the European Union. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. If you would have told us back then, most of us would have said no. That's crazy. In 8 years, all that in 8 years, that's not going to happen. Yet it did. This next story from FoxNews.com. California weed fortress had 35,000 marijuana plants inside, according to police. Southern California police seized 35,000 marijuana plants. That's not a typo. That's actual rough estimate, I guess. Marijuana plants from a weed fortress and shut down an operation they believe was bringing in millions of dollars a month. San Bernardino police said they detained 8 people Wednesday when police and federal agents raided a warehouse that was converted into a multi-level grow house. They said the once abandoned warehouse was recently outfitted with a 12-foot fence, fortified doors, and surveillance cameras. Well, there is red flag number 1. Investigators also raided 3 properties all owned by Stephanie Smith, 43 of Pacific Palisades. Smith was being investigated, but she was not arrested or charged with a crime, which is interesting. Police said the 8 people detained in the warehouse were also not charged. I have to assume that that's going to change. Otherwise, what's the point? I don't understand. They have 35,000 marijuana plants. They're saying it's illegal, saying she doesn't have a license, medical, or recreational. Although I don't think any of those licenses are going to cover 35,000 plants. I may be wrong. CBS Los Angeles reported that Smith was taking in millions of dollars per month. Here's red flag number 2. Police say the 4-story warehouse contained thousands of marijuana plants. The property's electric bill was a staggering $67,000 a month. Now, our wheelhouse is not bust stories at marijuanatimes.org. It's not what we cover. It's not what we're going to be covering on the show for the most part. But sometimes there's going to be a bust story that is so incredible that I have to comment on it. This is one of them. How? Just what I said before about the security cameras and the fortified doors, that alone is a big red flag. How do they think the electric company's not going to notice a $67,000 a month bill where previously there was not a bill because there was an abandoned warehouse? How is nobody going to notice that? The audacity of something like this is incredible. I don't know what was going through this woman's mind or, her accomplices' minds or whatever. I don't know how they thought that, we're just going to grow 35,000 plants in this warehouse and no one's going to notice. No one's going to have any idea what's going on. San Bernardino Police Lieutenant Mike Madden called the operations the biggest grow he has ever seen in 26 years on the force. And I'm not one to give advice, but if you're trying to fly under the radar, which I assume these people were, you're trying to fly under the radar, you're trying not to be noticed, a $67,000 a month electric bill is not going to do it. They will find that. Even if they don't notice the fortified doors and the security cameras. The electric company is going to see that and say, look, this electric bill for this place was $0 last month. This month it was $60,000. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. People think they can get away with. Why they would think that, I don't know. This last story is from CNBC.com. Bitcoin offers the cannabis industry an alternative to banks. Obviously, Bitcoin's been in the news a lot lately. And so its collision with cannabis is probably to be expected. Although medical use of marijuana is now legal in more than half the states and recreational use in some others, the drug is still illegal on the federal level. As a result, most major banks shun the marijuana business. The cannabis industry, projected to grow to $50 billion from $6 billion by 2026, has long been in need of a financial solution. Many in the industry are hanging their hopes on cryptocurrencies. Technology companies like SinglePoint and Posibit are working to generate a payment method for dispensaries and consumers using Bitcoin. In recent years, some cryptocurrencies have cropped up specifically for cannabis transactions like Potcoin and Hempcoin. Before Bitcoin was dominating the headlines with a spectacular run-up, there were people using it to buy illegal drugs, but now, ironically, some people in the marijuana industry are hoping Bitcoin will bolster its legitimacy. Will Ralston, president of SinglePoint, which has created an app called Single Seed, in which consumers and dispensaries can exchange Bitcoin, said their reputation is being turned around. Some even say that the cannabis industry can lead other businesses to embrace virtual money. Obviously, with the banking issues that cannabis companies have, they have a lot of cash lying around. They're going to look for ways not to have a lot of cash lying around, which is smart. It makes you the target of robbery and presents many other problems. So to do it with Bitcoins or other cryptocurrency or quote-unquote virtual money is going to look quite good to many companies. While the number of banks that will work with medical marijuana companies is growing, estimated to be about 500 today, the majority still don't. Another complication for most dispensaries is they can't access typical merchant services, which companies need to accept credit or debit cards. There is no cannabis store identification as there is with a flower shop or a restaurant, so most dispensaries remain cash only. Now, obviously, the volatility of Bitcoin, if you've been following the price at all, that creates a bit of a problem. You know, you walk in and Bitcoin's worth 15,000, and when you go to buy your product, it's worth 15,800, and when you leave with your product, it's worth 16,900, and it's too volatile to be a stable currency for this type of thing for now. But it just goes to show you that the future is here, as they say. And cryptocurrencies, I suspect, will be part of the cannabis industry for a long time to come. Thanks, everybody, for listening. The Marijuana Times Show for December 18th, 2017. Share, like, all that stuff. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. Search the Marijuana Times. We are now an audio podcast on there. Thank you to naturesidecannabis.com, organic, all-natural pesticides. If you want to sponsor the show, email us at marijuanatimes.org and let us know. Thanks, everybody. Good start to the week. I said I'm a little under the weather, but I will not miss a show. You need the cannabis news, I will bring it to you. You can count on that. We'll see you all tomorrow here on the Marijuana Times Show.